Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Ready Up E3 EA recap. I'm Stewart Griffin.
I'm Kieran.
I'm Cameron.
And we're going to go through the various things that were announced at EA's big E3 speech. The first thing I wanted to mention is, anything that starts with the drum line immediately gets my attention. I'm super on board with that.
It was pretty a nice opener, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a nice way to open it up, I think. A not so nice way of opening it up was talking about that weird creative cave thing that they had going on. What did you guys think of that? Oh, man. It was like they had all those streamers and people customizing.
Oh, that. Yes,
Jesus.
yes. I do remember that now.
Okay.
See, there seemed to be a bit too strong of a reliance on, YouTubers and stuff like that. There was that really awkward, I guess we'll get to it, but the really awkward Need for Speed introduction with that YouTuber.
Oh,
which was
yeah.
real bad.
Yeah, no, that was painful. I was not, I felt bad for that. The first thing I think we should talk about then is the stuff from Battlefield 1. How did you guys feel about that?
It's nice. For the fans that have been playing it, it's just more, which is what they're looking for, I guess. I don't think it's terribly significant, though, to be honest. It's nothing groundbreaking, if you know.
Yeah, I thought there were a couple of cool things in there. The idea of putting in a women's battalion, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought that, it was really odd that they kept saying a revolution is coming, because I was like, that revolution was about them leaving the war,
Right.
I thought that was a little odd.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Have you played a lot of Battlefield 1? I picked it up and I didn't play it extensively, partly because I have bad memories of Battlefront, and it reminded me an awful lot of Battlefront. So yeah, I sort of picked it up, played it for a few weeks, the multiplayer. I don't know, I was really on board for the earlier Battlefronts as well. I played Bad Company 2 an awful lot.
To be honest, I've never played Battlefield 1. It didn't really interest me. Sure, they went back in the past instead of going to the future where COD has been going, but I don't know, didn't resonate with me.
So the next thing I think we should move on to talk about is Need for Speed Payback.
Yeah.
So what about the actual game itself?
Fast and Furious, the game.
I know, right?
Consoles. That said, it doesn't look bad at all. It looks actually quite fun. The slow motion was probably the highlight for me. Yeah, just it looked very fluid, like how it goes from just regular motion to slow motion with those cool camera angles. Yeah, it just flows. At least it looks like it flows really well. But I don't know, driving games, I'm not really.
I was walking away from it and I was like, this looks like they have been paying a lot of attention to Burnout. The guys who make Burnout must have watched that footage and just be like, God damn it, why didn't we put a story in our game? What the fuck?
I really wish that someone would steal the idea from Driver San Francisco with the you could sort of pull out to a bird's eye view of the city and jump between cars. And then, I don't know why nobody else has stolen that yet. Maybe they have. Maybe I'm just not well versed enough in recent car games to know that it's a thing still. But I really loved that game. I don't know, I'm going completely off topic now, but
no, I agree.
Drive San Francisco should get more love. So
yeah,
I guess they are doing something kind of similar because in the gameplay footage, you're driving as the guy, and then the woman gets on top of the other vehicle, and then she leaves with another car, and then you switch to her character. So although I guess you don't have as much control over switching between...
See, that was the thing that I was wondering most of all, is one of the first things I wrote down, first notes that I took, was that it was wishing it was GTA, and then right below that, I wrote that before they said the 3 characters thing.
Right, yeah.
I think it could be really interesting if they took that system from GTA 5 of being able to switch on the fly between the different characters. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure. It looked very scripted, that sequence that they showed.
Certainly.
So I'm wondering how well that's going to work.
Honestly, I'm on board for another Need for Speed because the last one was did that not launch around the time of the PS4 release? I think that's the one I missed. But I played a few before that. There was one that had an odd gimmick that you were it was a cross-country drive. It was a run or something.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
No, I remember that being okay. It was pretty good. But then obviously everybody has an affinity towards... is it Undercover? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, is it not Underground?
Underground, that's it, not Undercover. Yeah. There might be one called Undercover. Who knows?
I thought that was the police one. Although I'm thinking of Hot Pursuit.
Oh, yes, that's right, yeah. I do agree that it does look like Fast and Furious, the game, but if that's the case, then I do think it needs to be like the level of stupid that the Fast and Furious movies have gotten to. If they can do that, then I am all on board with this game. Okay, next up, this was my highlight of the show, was A Way Out, which kind of just looks like Prison Break, the game. That looked absolutely incredible. If they can follow up on what they promised with that, then I would be really, really on board with that. But I did also think it was the thing in the show that I thought would be most likely to be bullshit. If there was one thing in the show that I was kind of like, this is the thing I suspect of lying to me the most. Like, do you remember when that Watch Dogs gameplay footage came out?
Yeah.
And you were like, oh man, wouldn't it be amazing if the game worked like that? And then it just didn't.
God, I hope it's good. Not least because everybody wants the Shawshank Simulator, but at the same time, the guy, previous game, Brothers Tale of Two Sons, I love. And I love what he's done with... Obviously, that wasn't a co-op game, but the way that the control scheme tied into the thematic elements of the story was very, very interesting. I think as someone who's interested in how narrative is evolving within games, I thought that was a game that did it really well. Yeah, he seems to be employing the same sort of ideas. I mean, obviously, as I said, the first game that he did was not a co-op game, so it'll be interesting to see where he actually goes with this. I know he said I think it's online and split screen.
Yeah, but I definitely think that he also said that playing it on the couch with one of your friends would be the optimal way to experience it, which I think is a really interesting thing for somebody to say, at this point in where we are with video games.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that idea of the couch co-op. My problem with it is some of the footage that was shown has like some really intense camera angles and movements. And if you're experiencing that on half a screen, I'm not sure how well that would, how good that would feel to play and look.
No, I agree. I mean, like that was my final comment on the whole thing was it's a really good idea, but it's also like super brave and a pretty big gamble because there's so many ways it could go wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder how it's going to be priced as well, because I assume it's going to be maybe 4 to 6 hours, perhaps. Because it does seem like it's going to have the structure of a film, and traditional gameplay is probably going to be take a backseat to the storytelling and the sort of the set pieces, which I don't have a problem with, but obviously a lot of people are. Especially if it's priced at £40. It certainly doesn't look like your traditional indie game, so I highly doubt it's going to be sold for any less than that, but it does seem like a big gamble, and no, it's definitely, for me, it was one of the most interesting things I saw for the conference. But also one of the most sort of concerning.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Like, I'm like, I would absolutely love a co-op game that gave you a really strong narrative experience. Because co-op gameplay is great, but narrative is where it always traditionally falls apart, right?
Yeah.
And I would I would genuinely love it if it could make a really strong narrative game that actually worked co-op. Anthem. I am 100% calling this game Attack on Titanfall from now on. I'm sure we'll have more to say about it after Microsoft's talk.
Sure, yeah. Good first impressions. It's BioWare, and I love BioWare, so I think I probably will get it, even if it's complete shit. But yeah, I don't know anything about it. I don't know how it looks, how it plays, so I guess that's a good sort of mystery to have. We're going into Microsoft's press conference.
Yeah, I am looking forward to that in Microsoft's thing tonight.
Actually, a good thing is that it looks as though they'll all be wearing masks, so they don't have to do facial animations. That might be a good thing for BioWare.
Yeah, that's probably a good move. Okay, so I'm going to move on to Star Wars Battlefront 2. What did we think of that presentation? Because that was actually quite the presentation, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty extensive, honestly. I think there came a point where I was like, this is enough. Like, it was probably 10, 15 minutes or something.
was
And I mean,
long.
I'm looking forward to it.
It was a half-hour presentation, I think.
Was it half an
God.
hour? My goodness.
Yeah. It started at 1:45 and it was going till 1:15.
Wow.
So it was half an hour of Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably more than I needed, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
I did start to wonder, like,
tiresome.
is this it? Like, is this? Because obviously a lot of other shows, Sony's last year was packed with announcements, and I figured, like, if this is going to go on for, you're saying, half an hour, like, this must be a way of filling up a lack of announcements. Honestly, this is obviously their big game that they want to show off now. But I think besides the conference itself, I think the game looks a lot better than the first.
Yeah.
But I don't know how big a fan of the first you two were. If you played it,
I mean, I played it. I thought it was all right. It was Battlefield but Star Wars. Like, I mean, I thought that was cute, but I mean, I'm psyched about it having a story campaign now. Like, that's an interesting touch. And I thought it was a ballsy move to start off here's our new Star Wars game with something set on Naboo. The setting of the worst Star Wars movie. I did see a lot of people in the Twitch chat asking if Jar Jar was going to be playable, and I'm like, I hope so.
But I'm like super psyched to play as a droid.
Yeah, actually, a little bit. Roger. I was also really annoyed that Darth Maul showed up because, Darth Maul, clone troopers, get the timing right, continuity, guys.
Well, you can have like Darth Maul, Rey, and Han Solo all in one place. So
I suppose. I suppose when Rey showed up later, I was kind of like, yeah, okay, fine, you don't care about continuity.
Is Palpatine not back as well, or something?
Hopefully.
He's inside a robot. Am I just imagining things? Am I going
think you
insane?
might be imagining that.
What?
He was never in a robot, right? When was it?
I don't recall seeing that.
When was he a robot?
Right.
Oh, wait, no! Wait, I know what you're talking about. Yes, there was a bit where, like, he had, like, the holographic face on a robot body, right?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, I remember that! Oh my god, I totally forgot about that! Oh, yeah, that looked terrible.
More Palpatine is perfect.
Yeah, more Palpatine
That's all I
is
need.
good. But, like, that kind of looked like... Did you ever see one of the... those robots that you just navigate around places and they have an iPad on the... It's just like... It's literally an iPad on a stick on a remote-controlled thing. That was what it reminded me of. I was like, wait.
Oh, dear.
He's got one of those? What the hell?
Yeah, it wasn't terribly threatening, but when has Palpatine ever been anything but ridiculous? So,
That's true. So the most exciting thing about that... Like, the most exciting thing about the entire Battlefront talk was the themed seasons of DLC with no charge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, that is an interesting move for them to make.
This has me worried. Though.
Yeah?
Yes, because it's going to be packed with microtransactions. EA are not going to be good guys about this. They're going to stunt the whole progression system. I'm sure of it, just so they can sell loot crates or however they want to palm off their microtransaction system. Yeah, it has me worried. I'd probably rather a season pass than some scummy, dirty feeling microtransactions that just sort of permeate the entire experience, because whilst season passes, it will chop off your sort of consumer base, so only some people can play the maps. Like, this is going to infest the main game itself as well. So it does have me concerned that they're going to be a bit nasty about it and a bit stingy in terms of unlocks and the progression system as well. But that's just me being a massive cynic.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a fair point. Like, I definitely think there's cause for concern there. But I just think it's interesting to see them kind of trying to walk back from the idea of paid DLC in general. Like, that was just kind of something I was excited about. But yeah, I also am expecting microtransactions. Yeah.
It doesn't cease to amaze me, the faces in dice games, because they look as if it's actually their face. Finn and Rey, and it looks like they mocapped it, but I don't think they did. And because surely they would have mentioned that in the trailers and stuff like that. They would have said, this is the real Finn and Rey, but they haven't. So they're just really good at faces there. Dice, what are you doing?
But yeah, I mean,
John Vega turned up, didn't he?
It is pretty awesome, and yeah, he did. That kind of, I think I wrote a note down where he was like, the force is strong with PlayStation. That made my childhood feel really... Like, I was not happy to hear that. I was like, oh, really? Still, I'm glad he showed up. Like, it was cool. And he said that he was one of the people playing in that in the multiplayer fight they ended with.
Right.
Which that must have been fun.
Yeah.
One last thing. The Galaxy of Heroes. Oh, sorry.
Sorry to interrupt, but their class system in Star Wars is a nice sort of welcome thing, for me at least, because it just means that you have options available to you. It's not as though everyone's on this even playing field with the exact same pistol, the exact same same rifle.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
It just means if you're, maybe let's say you're not as like good with health, which I always am, you can play as like a slow moving big bulky droid, or if you are good with health, then you can play as the fast moving small droid. I just quite liked that sort of options that they present to you.
Yeah, no, I thought that was it was interesting to see. I mean, I have to admit that the officer class, which like anybody who's played a bunch of online stuff, which will know that your support class is super important, but it's also super important in the design to actually make it fun to play. And I have to admit, the officer class didn't look like that much fun to play.
Yeah. If you want to get one class, if you want to make one class right, it has to be support, because they are supporting the rest of the team, you know. So
yeah.
With these games that have hero characters, I typically get very mad because the entire time there's a strong envy because you want to be playing as the hero. And the way that the first game did it, I think it was just random pickups, wasn't it? And,
that was the worst.
Yeah. It becomes rather frustrating because it's not about how good you are as a player. You're not earning it. You're just stumbling upon it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this one of the issues with games like Friday the 13th is everybody is waiting to play as Jason. Nobody's playing that game to, get chased around the map. So, I want to play as Darth Maul. Yeah. I don't want to play as Stormtrooper 205 or whatever, And most of the time you're probably going to be playing as Stormtroopers, which, if they can make that gameplay fun, then great. But there's still going to be that sense of envy that you want to play as the heroes. But yeah.
Yeah, that's why hero mode in the first one was the best part for me. It's just because you always got a chance of playing the heroes in one match rather than just having to stumble across it.
Yeah, I mean, one of my thoughts was because they're talking about like they're not making it a random selection this time. Apparently, it is to do with like you build up your kills and your assists and stuff like that will build you up towards getting a hero character, which sounded interesting, but I'm worried about what that does for balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Regardless, I think it looks very cool.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool.
I think we could agree on that. Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
The one thing I thought wasn't cool was going immediately to a Galaxy of Heroes plug.
I couldn't believe that's how they ended. Like, what a piss poor way to end the show. What the hell?
Because, typically at the end of a conference you have like the final hint or final big thing. In this case, it was Battlefront. But for a split second, I thought that their big thing that they were ending on was Galaxy Heroes. I'm like, what are you doing, EA?
Okay, so one last thing before we go. Sports. Go sports.
Yes.
Sports.
Sports. Right, so this is very brief because none of us really care about sports. The few things I have to say is I think it's really weird that EA are promoting the shit out of the single-player story modes of their sports games. Like, that was the theme to every one of their sports announcements tonight. Mm-hmm. Or on the, last night. And yeah, it's such an odd thing for them to be emphasizing. That was just bizarre. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just agreeing. Yeah, it's just weird. I've always imagined like sports games the people that play sports games are not overly invested in story modes typically. I mean, that might be a judgment on my part, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe FIFA 17. Maybe people were going nuts about this Alex guy from FIFA 17. Yeah. But that was literally the first time I'd heard of that was last night.
Yeah, same.
I was like, this is a thing.
They must be doing well for them because they would not be throwing this amount of publicity into the single player.
Yeah, because that seems to be what their new Madden game is doing. Mm-hmm. And they were really emphasizing it with the new NBA game as well. So I guess it's working for them.
Must be.
The other thing I wanted to say about them, by the way, is their music choices were all absolutely on point. With the exception of the one that they chose to open the show. like every other trailer actually had really good music. Like I think there was like a Dizzy Rascal song on one of them, and I think there was a Kendrick Lamar song on another one. They were really good.
Yeah, that was NBA. Yeah,
but so I don't understand who was like, right, and we're going to open the show with some of the worst dubstep I've ever heard.
I mean, gamers love dubstep. Come on,
gamers love.
I mean, I love dubstep, but that was bad dubstep.
The one thing that I got out of the sports games was one of the actors in Madden is the same actor who's in Moonlight and House of Cards, and he's an Oscar-winning actor, and I don't know how they got him to do Madden.
Are you going to try and say his name?
No, I can't say his name.
Mahershala Ali, I think. I probably just
Ali.
butchered it horribly, but massively talented actor. Somehow stumbled his way into, what did you say it was? NBA?
Madden.
Madden, oh.
I believe, yeah.
That's a step up. No, I'm just being an asshole now. I'm sure they're great games, just, not for me.
No, not really. They're not my thing, but... I mean, I think like it was definitely interesting. I'm interested to see that they're putting that level of effort in and they're taking it in that direction. I mean, I don't know why, but it's cool.
Yeah, you'd think they'd just be hammering home their like ultimate team mode or whatever every year, because that's, I imagine, what's making them the money. It's just the microtransactions, the card packs. Like, I guess it would be a bit strange to have their trailer open with look the new design of the cards or whatever. So this is a bit more, showy. Which I don't know. Props to them. It looks cool.
Okay, I think that's us. So we're going to be covering the Microsoft conference live. I'm also going to see if people are up for doing another one of these roundups, maybe at some point tomorrow, based on who sees what. So until then, this is Stewart Griffin.
This is Kieran Robertson.
This is Cameron Bald,
and we're signing off for Ready Up. Catch you later, guys.
Bye.